Hi, I'm Charné. I was Shiloh Zoé Hope's safety mother. I heard about Shiloh while I was assisting a specialist, and it broke my heart to think that a full-term infant can be thrown away. She had a 4-day struggle, and we tried everything we could to save her life, but it was the Lord's decision to take her home. After her death, a group of us that were involved with her decided that we shouldn't let her life and her death go in vain, and we decided to found a foundation called the Shiloh Zoé Hope Foundation, meaning the gift of life and the gift of hope. We decided that because she wasn't the first and neither will be the last, that one should probably try and save every child from every group, every community in Bloemfontein and beyond, and try and make it easier to get them into hospital services and to supply the necessary medical care.
Arrival should equal survival. The Shiloh Zoé Hope Foundation, the gift of life and hope. Born on May the 9th, 2010, Shiloh was abandoned and left alone among garbage bags. Found by a homeless man and brought to the closest house, the helpless baby girl was rushed to hospital. Unfortunately, she passed away 3 days later. But Shiloh Zoé Hope's life and death will not be in vain. In her short life of 3 days, Shiloh managed to touch and open the hearts of many, mobilizing them to help others like her. Life is a miracle, a precious gift, and although the circumstances surrounding a birth may not always be perfect, the result is a new life, a new beginning. We all make mistakes, but how we react on them is what makes the difference.
Wat vir my baie my hele uitkyk op die lewe verander het, is die feit dat ek langs Shiloh se bed kon wees en dat sy op my bors dood is die dag, en daai het ek besef dit is wat my roeping in die lewe is. So 4,5 jaar terug het ek vir die Here gebid, hy moet vir my leiding gee. My passie is by kinders omdat ek nooit kon kinders hê nie. En ja, 4,5 jaar later het hy dit vir my gegee. Die dag toe Shiloh op my bors dood het, het ek geweet dis waar ek hoor.
I'm Murray. I'm one of the finalists of Miss United Nations South Africa, and it's really an honor to be one of the finalists. By being a finalist, I need to be busy with a non-profit organization, and therefore I chose to be part of the Shiloh Zoé Foundation, and by that it is really to keep the babies off the streets, and I'm assisting the mothers. I really assist the mothers.
What I'd like to focus on today is really about the immense pressure that young women, young mothers are under, even just finding out about a pregnancy. What we also know is that no matter what the choice, be it abortion, adoption, keeping the child, there's immense physical, emotional, practical, spiritual implications for the young mother.
My name is Denise. When I was about 16, pushing 17, I fell pregnant at school, which was devastating for me, but I did realize with a lot of help from Child Life that there is a way out, and that way out was adoption. Not an easy decision to make because it's a life that you are giving away, but it's a life for the child. At that stage of my life, my son was more important to me to have a fixed family, as opposed to me trying to raise a child on my own without my parents helping me. The difficult part is to make that decision because you always wonder what is going to happen, what is going to happen to your child, are you ever going to see him or her again? And the answer to that is yes. It has its own time and it follows its own course. But the most important thing is it's not the end of one's life. It took me 19 years till I met my son again, and it was 19 years with prayer. My biggest prayer every single day was that I would see my son, and I was blessed that it did happen, and we are great friends, and that means that if you handle everything properly, it will all work out in the end. One is devastated when you are young, pregnant, no family to support you, but the bottom line remains, make the decision not only for yourself but for your child.
When we're looking at more of the constructive choices for a young mother faced with an unplanned pregnancy, when we're looking at adoption, we must really realize that even though it's also emotionally a very difficult, traumatic choice to make, also with a lot of guilt feelings, uncertainty, what we know is that South Africa actually has one of the lowest adoption ratios because of our incredibly high termination of pregnancy ratios, and there's so many adjusted, happy families, parents that are waiting to become adoptive parents. So even though we have the struggle and the emotional turmoil, we do know that for many young mothers it turns into emotionally, psychologically a much more constructive experience where despite their own emotions and struggle, they really are able to, at the end of the process, say, I made the best choice for my child. He or she's in a good home, and like I said, to even be part of maybe meeting the potential adoptive parents. But we know that psychologically this usually has a much better outcome for the young mother, and not to forget the young fathers as well, if they are involved, in the knowledge that despite what challenge I was faced, I was able to make a healthy, constructive decision. And it's really about getting teens feeling confident about their decisions, and that's why the support system and just the availability of resources, that knowledge and that empowerment really helps to bring us towards a more constructive choice for our young parents.